Hello, welcome to the JA Our Region Session 3 Volunteer Resource video. In Session 3, the hot dog stand game, students will learn the importance of tracking business finances and other fundamental tasks. The hot dog stand game will help students see how money flows in and out of a business. Remember the basic tips for all sessions. Communicate with your teacher before your session. Specifically for this session, ask about the best way to divide the class up into 8 groups of 3 to 4 students for the game. Arrive early and have your materials ready to go before your scheduled start time, including distributing table tents and getting your JA banner and posters in place. Specifically, as mentioned in the JA Our Region Planning Your Session video, you'll want to divide and set up the hot dog stand game sets before you arrive in the classroom. As the class begins, greet the students. Ask them questions from the previous sessions. For example, traits of an entrepreneur. Emphasize that students can strengthen their entrepreneurial traits with time and practice. Lead a discussion on how important it is for a business to make money. Ask students to discuss what they think a business does with the money it makes. Share a personal story of a time when you either made or lost money in a business venture. Prepare your story before you enter the class. You will use the vocabulary and the business task cards to share with students that entrepreneurs need to understand 6 business basics in order to be successful: advertising, expense, revenue, customer, profit, and loss. Pass out the business task cards to students and ask for a volunteer to read Task 1 out loud and fill in the missing word, found at the top of the card. Have everyone in the class fill in the missing words on their card. Here's a hint to help students remember the difference between revenue and expense. Expense is money exiting your cash register or bank account. Expense equals exit. And revenue means you receive money into your cash register or bank account. Revenue equals receive. Expense equals exit, and revenue equals receive. Before starting the hot dog stand game, tell the students you'll first explain the game and rules, and then they'll break into groups to play the game. Review each of the game items with the students: the game board, die, game piece, and a money tracker sheet for each student. Here are the rules of the game. Game pieces begin on the start arrow. Roll die to see who goes first. Lowest number starts first. Take turns moving clockwise from the first student to advance the turn. Be sure to point out that in this game, students start each turn at the beginning of each task. First turn moves on the Task 1 line. After all players have completed Task 1, the second turn moves on the Task 2 line, and so on. The game continues as each player must record expenses, revenue, etc. for each turn on their money tracker sheet. Once all 5 tasks are complete, each player completes the math on their trackers to determine a profit or loss. Once the instructions are finished, divide students into groups of 3 or 4 as recommended by the classroom teacher, hand out the game packets, and let the students begin. The game should take about 10 minutes to play. After the game, have students return all game parts to the original packet. Debrief the game as a class, using several of the questions provided in the volunteer guide. Mention the importance of saving money, especially when businesses make a profit. This will provide a tease for the next session, learning about problem solving, which will illustrate why saving money is important in case something unexpected happens. If time permits, quiz students on the vocabulary words introduced in this lesson. Thank the students for their good work. Remind them that businesses must make a profit, collecting more revenue than expenses, in order to be successful. Announce when you will return for the next session. Mention that you'll talk about solving problems and making wise business decisions. Collect the table tents, leave them, and the posters with the classroom teacher for use in the next session. This concludes the Session 3 video, and thank you for being a Junior Achievement volunteer.